Hello Blood Bowl fans, here we are with Game 8 of the Pet Collections adventure. We now have Frankenstein with the skill Jump Up, Leica has the skill Kick Off Return, and we have a zombie with Dirty Player. I think they're all new upgrades since our last replay. I also fired 3 of the minus stat zombies and replaced them with 2 fresh ones. We do have Wood Elves again. This was a good game though, so I didn't want to pass it up. We have our pet collection singing the Monster Mash for the national anthem. And Monster is of course the best dancer in the team. And the angel in the background. And the Wood Elves are singing their national anthem, Trees, Glorious Trees. Surprisingly, the war dancers don't dance in this part. I never noticed that before. That's interesting. They only dance on the pitch. And the coin flip. I can't remember who got the flip actually. Let's have a quick look when we're at it. We did, and we chose to receive. Of course we did. Alrighty then, let's try and get our second trophy finally, because in 7 games we still haven't got a second trophy yet. It's unbelievable. But these are Wood Elves. They die, right? Right. My coach and I had a good conversation. He was fine. I wouldn't say he was particularly friendly and he was particularly unfriendly. He was just a kind of neutral opponent, which is quite nice as well. We did have a couple of laughs, but mostly it was quite a quiet match, to be fair. And I do go for an all-murdering line-out to start with, because I really want a trophy at this point. And the kick-off return means that Leica can go and stand right under it. And a high kick, which is very useful when we already have Leica under it, of course. And he catches it successfully. Moving up zombies to block off the couple of elves that are here. I do want to knock out the entire team. That is always my goal when playing any kind of elves or rats, because at the end of the day, that's what advantage I have over them. First block is a 2 down with Frankenstein, and nothing interesting happens. Monster gets a block as well, also a 2 down. Oh damn, reroll. Into a POW, which also leaves an elf completely fine. And one zombie punch from one of the new zombies. Here's just a push. Foul already. And the foul is good, but the lineman is just stunned. Didn't have to use my bribe yet though. Do I have a bribe? Yes, I have 2 bribes. Oh yes, I bought 2 bribes, that's correct. Sorry, I had 1 free bribe from the bribe stand, and I bought another free bribe. One thing I will say about this coach is that he was not afraid to get his wood elves. He was not afraid to get his wood elves. What's the bloody word? Based with me. And sometimes, like just now, it worked out well for him when he stunned the helper. His war dancers especially were always kicking. He absolutely hated this loner. I don't know why, but he would not leave this loner alone. Loner alone, that's a weird one. He even kept saying in his... Oh, we have a dead. We have a deaf, even. Finally, is the niggle finally gone? Is he? Is he? No. He's coming back, unfortunately. He's still niggled. May end up firing him too, because he's kind of annoying me now. We have our guard piece that is MVP, that's why we have a loner. Alright. Oh, sorry, in the wrong position as always. Well, that was a good turn for the Wood Elves. They managed to stun one of my zombies, and they also knocked another one out for at least this drive. Or until they inevitably score, because they're Wood Elves, and Wood Elves score a lot. Though I have the ball at the moment, so hopefully I'll be the first to score, of course. I did my best just to screen off the team as much as possible, and I even had a go at punching. That's another 2 skull. That's my second in 2 turns, so I've had to reroll again. Followed by a push, and both down. Thankfully, Leica has block. That's lots of skulls for me. Foul comes in for the second time. It's more successful this time. Avril is injured, but he's not dead, unfortunately. That puts him down to 10 players, to my 10 as well at the moment. But one might come back. I kind of left myself short on pieces here, and I have to take the 1 die, which is a power, thankfully. That's a good roll of a 6. And I've left a gap. Oh, that was silly. Why did I leave a gap? Oh well. So the Wood Elves return attack again. And they actually fill in the gap themselves. That was maybe silly. They could have gone through that. Well, they still can go through it, I guess. Yep, he was really taking a lot of bashing with me, which is unusual for a Wood Elf team. I applaud him for it, but it's not very smart, really. It's going to end most of the time in your team being annihilated, because you don't want to stand toe-to-toe with your opponent as Wood Elves. That's not what Wood Elves do. Just a push from the War Dancer, thankfully, but he is going to get a second block on Leica, which is a 1 die, and 2 down. Oh no, he blocked the loner. Yeah, oh yeah, he hated the loner, I forgot already. I don't think there was a single turn where he missed the loner. Ah, and here comes the first Wood Elf foul, which is on Monster. And it fails. So, stand up my zombie pieces. Let's get the team over this way so we can get Leica out of that gap, hopefully. Yeah, that's what we're doing. These 2 pieces I'm going to kind of surrender, I think. I'm going to do my best to block off this group, or at least do some damage here. Oh, I didn't surrender, I did send a zombie as sacrifice to block the 2. Oh, good. That's 2 skulls again, 3rd in a row. Had to reroll again, and 2 pushes. White comes over to do his blocky bit. And that's a POW. And that's another injured lineman. He's now down to 9. This is very good for me. I'm feeling very confident at this point, I think. And just a push, meaning that he has lots of pieces that can come and get the ball. Not having much luck with the roll so far. There's a 1 die power from the lineman that results in an injured zombie. No long-term effects, and Necro does his job again. Necro's working hard today. Just took a break to have a coffee, sorry. And his first skull that he has to reroll, and he does reroll it to get a decent push. Brings in a piece to support against Leica, just a push, which means that he will get another push, another block from the other War Dancer. Lots of dice. No, he does a random dodge, there was no need for that. And he also rolls 2 skull, which results in a block. I know that's not a 2 skull, but it's easy to describe that way. And he puts the helper back on the edge of the pitch. Zombies turn 4. I may leave Monster on the ground until I've actually blocked off this piece. No, probably not, because that's a waste of a blitz. Yeah, blitzing with Frankenstein, of course. On the lineman, which is just a push, that's a shame. But maybe I can get Leica out that way at least. Oh, I do a handoff. Okay. Why not? Probably should have taken the block instead. And that's my 4th roll that results in a turnover if not reroll. or at least my ball carrier being in an unfortunate place. And I left Helper on the ground, which I'm quite happy about actually, because he can't get surfed that way. He finally gets Leica down, but Leica's not holding the ball anymore. And again, the skull. This is a match of skulls, obviously. And pushes, skulls and pushes. That should be the theme for this song, for this game, probably. Again, a skull and a push. And there he gets the same treatment with a double down that goes in my favour, as the elf is stunned and Leo is going to get right back up. Let's freed up the white a little bit. Let's try and get him out. Just pick up a couple of pieces. Maybe block off one of these two at least. And then we should be fine. Leica, I guess, to block off this one. And dodge with the white. I guess that's the plan. No, I'm actually going to blitz with the white. That's actually more intelligent than what I'm looking at. So, but unfortunately it's a push. Meaning that I leave Frankenstein where he is. Probably could have followed when I think about it. Though it wouldn't make much difference. Monster also gets a push, which doesn't do any damage, of course. And again, we get the skulls and a 2 down, resulting in a turnover. Yeah, probably should have followed up with the white, but we'll leave it alone. It's just a push on Leica for some reason. He wants to surf Leica, of course. And a Wood Elf just came in from the side. Couldn't quite see that. And the surf is successful. Let's hope he's fine. And he is. No problem. He's finally dodging like he should be. But he's still blocking every time as well. In my opinion, it's way too many blocks for a Wood Elf team. But he's not getting severely punished. So, good on him, I guess. And he does manage to get the ball carried down, and the ball goes in a pretty shocking place. And the catcher does manage to pick it up and run back into safety. That's a shame. Alright, standing up zombies. Bringing the helper back into the game, slowly, one step at a time. I can maybe put Monster on the ball. I guess I will. I will, yes. Yeah, locking up all the Wood Elves, but it's not going to help me too much, I fear. Though I do take a block, which is again a 2 down, but Frankenstein has block, so that results in an elf on the ground. I'll take a 1 down the War Dancer. It's just a push, but it's locked up the catcher pretty well there. And he doesn't have a lot of chances for a 2-die here. Though the one that counts is a 2-die, of course. So he still has to get the catcher out. That's a double skull, re-rolled into a push. We're getting a lot of skulls this game, and it's pretty even on that in that regard, so I'm not saying that I'm being treated unfairly in this regard. And off to the War Dancer is good, and War Dancer runs right into space. Well, that sucks. And the other War Dancer manages to dodge out twice, and very successfully cover. Well done there, Carl Spackler, that was well played. And another 2 down, and a KO'd Wood Elf. One thing I'd say, Carl, if you ever are watching this, I would highly recommend taking less blocks. Because you're losing more pieces than you need to as a result. And that's a 2 down on Frank, which means that that's going to leave the War Dancer on open run to the line. That's a shame. The dice have not been helpful at all this game. At least the High Elf is knocked out though. They're Wood Elf, not High Elf. They're not High Elves. Now, he's still taking blocks, and that really punished him, because he could have just run straight in there, or at least run the piece well out of the way. I actually have a chance to counter him here as a result of that. Though I did have a bad injury there, I just missed it, smashed ankle, but he came back, Necro was still doing his job. Let's get Monster back on the lineman and get that one out of the way so we can have at least one punch on the War Dancer. I don't have to dodge anymore. It will be a 1-die, but the 1-die will have to do. And it does. That's a good power. Of course, it's pretty easy for a War Dancer to just pick up the ball again, and that's a really awful scatter. But I do my best to block it up here. Hopefully they'll fail something because they don't have a reroll. And that's the third lineman out. They're down to at least 8 players with 2 KO'd as well. Potentially they're coming back next half with just 6 players. I do manage to lock up the War Dancer with my zombie as well, meaning that he has to dodge. So he has to roll quite a lot of dice actually to get the ball at least. And without a reroll, it's dodgy, but they are Wood Elves after all, so I don't see any severe punishment coming from that. He moves the catcher out first to get a decent punch on the white. I think that's good thinking. It does result in a POW. He puts Frankenstein down. Then it's the case of dodge out, which is successful, pick up, which is successful, and run in without a GFI. That means that we're heading into the second half with a 1-0 lead to the Wood Elves. Well done, Carl. I hope you don't mind me calling you Carl. We don't need to see the cheerleaders. Go zombies! So, 1-0 at halftime. Looking at the Wood Elves, there's 3 out, injured, 3 linemen. There are 2 KOs which both come back. That's bad news for me. And my line is completely fresh because the Necro was doing his job really, really well this match. It's now the Wood Elf drive, which is bad news for me as I'm already 1-0 down. It looks like I'm at least going to go 2-0 down as a result. Rats and Necros, Rats and Wood Elves, sorry, the 2 teams that I always struggle to play against when I'm playing this kind of setup. Bash teams aren't so bad because I can outmaneuver them, but with Wood Elves and Rats I need to be lucky with the dice when I'm punching. I'm not lucky, but I need to be at least normal. The dice need to at least be normal. He puts a lot of Wood Elves on the line, which is very risky. He was risking his pieces a lot, to be fair, a lot more than a Wood Elf coach normally would. This is kind of how I play Wood Elves, i.e. badly in this regard. Because I'm not so used to edge teams. Alright, first block was against my loner, because he really hates the loner. And Catcher and War Dancer go for the ball. The War Dancer has the ball. And War Dancer dodges out and leaps to get rid of my loner. That's kind of a waste of risk, but good for you. And the loner is gone off the pitch. He's not coming back until someone scores or the end of the match. And that's a very dangerous looking Wood Elf line. I need to slow this down if possible. And he takes a 1-die with the Wood Elves, which is just a push, and that actually locks up these 2 pieces. Nice, thanks. Now I'm going to bring my pieces over to this side. I think I actually leave this flank completely exposed, which was a bad idea, but on the other hand, it does mean that I can knock up all these 6 pieces. And I get a POW against the lineman. It's just a stun, he'll be okay. Monster I maybe actually could have run up to at least block the catcher when I think about it looking at that then, but I choose not to, so whatever. still hitting the linemen, because the linemen are more likely to get injured. Whereas I should really be hitting the War Dancer to get him down so he can't get the ball. And our third foul of the match. We still have 2 bribes, don't forget, and it results in a KO. And still no sending off. Oh, that hasn't happened yet, but still no sending off. There's a skull, and a reroll into a skull, and bye-bye zombie. The skull dice continue. And I can't even make the excuse these guys are looking at a mirror, because a zombie is not a skeleton. He gets a kick on the dirty player. I think he maybe should have been attacking the dirty player more than he was in the match. He's KO'd now anyway, so he goes off the pitch for the rest of this drive. And blitzing with a lineman that has a POW on my zombie that I don't really care about. And that's another injury. Alright, is it bad this time? Nope, no long-term effects. And comes right back with Necro. Regen is doing wonders this match. Even though I'm getting all the skills, I'm also getting all the regens. And there's a pass. It's successful. War Dancer can probably actually run straight into the line here. He can with a double GFI, but I think he's going to just leave it there. Yes, he is. Lineman dodges out twice, so I can't punch him. Strange. Oh, so we can get a foul, I see. And the foul is bad, and it leads to a failed bribe. That's another piece off permanently. We're now down to 4, I think. Yeah, 4 down permanently. He has 7 max at the moment. But he's dominating the field at the moment as well, so it's not such a big loss for him anymore. It's going to be very hard for me, if they manage this score, it's going to be very hard for me to come back at him. I do have a good chance to get to him though with the white. It's not good, but it's a chance. I have to do 2 GFIs and a 1-die block in order to get the War Dancer. I've been checking as I've been doing this movement during the turn. I'm going to leave it as the last thing I do, and even with the zombie moving here, it doesn't make it any harder. Here it comes, let's hope it's successful. I do have 2 rerolls as well, so I can reroll 1 if I need to. And we get a POW. We've had a reroll. And let's hope the ball goes off the pitch. Off the pitch, off the pitch, off the pitch. No, that's not a good position. But at least this piece is stunned. Catcher comes right in to get the ball. That's 1 dodge. I remember actually he was complaining about how ridiculous that move was that I just did. And he actually just rolled the exact same dice. 2 dodges and a block, a pickup, and a successful touchdown. So you can complain that you roll the same dice. Anyway, good job. That's 2-0 to the Wood Elves. That makes it almost impossible for me to come back this game. Unless something really awful happens on your end. My knocked out player stays out, the 4 injured stay out, and the knockout comes back. Right, let's try and get one back. Shouldn't be too hard with the numbers now. I should be able to at least get 1. Unless the dice go particularly against me, I should be scoring in return here. Hopefully I'll kill an elf on the way as well, because that's still, of course, my primary goal for this team. That's always my primary goal for this team. Not just killing elves, but killing something. And I have set up so I can get some good fouls in here, because I've still got my 2 bribes. Kickoff return again is perfect. Leica gets right under the ball. And a quick snap. That's nice. That means I can make it even easier to foul these pieces by bringing you and you up to the 2 flanks. Just punch into the middle, get down these 2 pieces, and we get a decent foul on this piece probably, because I think Dirty Player is here somewhere. There's a POW for the first punch, and down he goes into the flat zone. And Monster's going to punch this way as well. Oh, that's a double skull and a reroll. The skulls are still here. I can't seem to shake them. And that's a stun. And 1 more block here. That is a push. And 1 more block. that is both down. I cannot shake these bad dice, no matter what I do. I could have left that piece, but it was a pretty safe roll. It was a pretty safe block, so I may as well take it. And the ball is still safe for at least this turn. He has just blitzed the loner again because he really wants the loner to die. And I'm glad he keeps blitzing the loner, to be honest, because if I lose that piece, then cool. It means I don't even have to worry about considering taking him. Oh, that's a failed GFI, which he's going to have to reroll if he wants to, and he does. That's a bit of a reroll that was maybe unnecessary. So that's nice. That leaves him with one reroll. And dodge fails as well. He rolled badly that turn too. That's unfortunate. Means Leica can run through here, maybe even manage a pass, and white runs off. That's probably the goal. Let's just lock up some pieces first though, make sure they can't counter too easily. And I may even be able to get the foul in as well if the pass is successful. Yeah, locking off the two war dancers as well. Because at the very least, Leica should be here unless I fail the pickup, of course. And that is indeed the goal. That's a failed pickup. And that's a failed reroll. That is awful. The dice just aren't on my side this game. I'm getting nothing out of this game, it looks like, apart from a few injuries, of course. Can't complain about the injuries. War Dancer dodges out successfully. Second War Dancer dodges out and blitzes. It's just a push, but it's good enough. And thankfully he fails the pickup, but he does have a reroll. And he doesn't fail it again, unfortunately. He can 2 GFI if he wants to, and he does, and scores successfully for a 3-0. Looking back at that one, it's no less painful. I do not think I deserved that 3-0 at all. But that's the way the game goes sometimes. So good job, Carl. My knockout returns. All of the injured stay off the pitch. Of course, there were no knockouts, so I skipped that little scene. Let's go for maximum damage again with all my pieces. And let's hope I can at least get one back in this game of misfortune when it comes to the dice. Cheering fans, I get a reroll back. That's good news. Leica's got the ball, and we got a good punch from Frankenstein yet again. Which puts him right back in the same position. And a good punch from Monster. A very good punch from Monster that leads to a KO, not an injury. Unfortunately, no SPP there. Eventually, Monster will level up. And a POW on the last piece from Naeith'nor, because I'm trying to get him leveled up as well. He has become a punching piece. We have our 4th, I think, foul, which is successful. That's another lineman out. I'm really looking for a kill here. I am nice enough not to attack his main pieces, though. I do just try and kill his linemen, at least. Though I am looking for a kill, definitely, at this point. And Leica's in a pretty safe position on the edge. Hopefully I'll be able to get at least one score out of it. Oh, and that's a failed GFI. I was trying to make it a completely blocked half cage. Looking back at it, I was maybe better off blocking the War Dancer piece as opposed to the cage itself. He's actually... he got afraid of me at this point, and he just ran away because he didn't want to lose his entire team. Which is, well, I don't know what to say about that, really. He's been playing the whole match trying to outpunch me, and of course Wood Elves aren't going to outpunch me. But now he's trying to save the remainder of his pieces, which makes it easy, actually, for me just to score. Which doesn't really affect the match on his end, I suppose, so I don't blame him for his choice. But I am going to keep trying to foul out his pieces anyway. And I get a POW on the lineman, put him into a space where all of these zombies can just pile in on him. Though I do move the cage first, because I want to make sure that I at least get one score back. Maybe even 2 if I'm lucky. Though 2 will require a riot, probably. So we'll pile in all these pieces, dirty player is here, and we'll get a almost 100% foul on this piece just because he's left it alone. Mostly. It's way too good to turn down, and it's what this team does, essentially. I could have moved this piece forward, don't know why I didn't. And here comes the 5th foul. Still 2 bribes. And that's another injury. Still no death, unfortunately. And now I move this piece. Should have done that first. With the bribe, there's a good chance I'm staying on the pitch. He brings the lineman in. And he runs his positionals out of the way so I can't hurt them. And he blitzes with the war dancer, which is good. Oh, elite blitz, he's going for a surf. And unfortunately it's successful. And he puts the ball right in the end zone, which I can just pick up with Frankenstein. Though I am going to try and punch this piece first because I want my piece. I want my pet. Just a push, unfortunately. I did have a reroll, so I did take the block. And after I'd done it, I committed myself to this move. I want to score with Frankenstein, so Monster's going to come in and do the blitz. Which is successful, the lineman is finally down. And I can pile in for a foul again. And then hopefully that'll be successful and Frankenstein can take the ball and score. Is this foul necessary? In any other team I would say yes, but the primary goal of course is to get new pieces in this team, so I'd say no. Foul number 6, 2 bribes still. Results in a stun, and I need to use a bribe. It is successful, thankfully, so I can have a go at the ball. This is pickup, GFI, GFI, with no reroll. Pickup successful, and so the GFIs. Frankenstein gives us at least 1 on the board, though it's a consolation at this point and nothing more. That's a 6-man dead and injured bench and a KO that does come back. That's 1 more lineman I can foul. Hee hee hee. He leaves the catcher on the line, which I'm not so sure is necessary. Probably a war dancer would have been a better choice, because catchers are much more breakable. Kick from Leica leads to throw a rock against both the catcher and of course the werewolf. It's always the werewolf. Catcher is stunned, and Leica is KO'd. War dancer comes back for the ball, making sure that I do not get a score. So a score is impossible pretty much. And a failed dodge with no reroll means that we're going to end this turn by punching a couple of pieces. Probably getting a foul because we're not getting to the ball. So let's just try one more time to get our kill. There's a push from Frank. Yeah, not Frank, Monster. Frank is the other golem. I keep saying that. And we end the match with a 2-down with the loner. No injury. That sucks, but it will have to do. So that leads to a 3-1 for the Wood Elves. Now, Carl was very much... not very much, he wasn't bad at all, but he was complaining a little bit that the dice were in my favour. I would argue the opposite. Tell me below what you think. Maybe actually it was pretty balanced when I look back at it, and even when I was playing the game I felt it was actually kind of balanced. We were just getting diced in different ways. He was getting a lot of injuries, of course, though I would argue that most of his injuries were down to him sticking to the engagement when he really didn't need to as Wood Elves, making it easy for me to just pick off his team piece by piece. And I think I got a lot more skulls than were necessary, including some very key ones that led to at least 2 of the 3 touchdowns. Anyway, the War Dancer got the man of the match, which gave him a level up, and one of my zombies that I don't care about. Got man in the match, giving him a level up, which I haven't done yet. So 1 touchdown and 17 armor breaks. That's too much. Wood Elf should not be taking that much. That's more than 1 a turn, which is insane. 3 touchdowns from the Wood Elves, 1 successful pass, and 8 armor breaks, and an expulsion. That was unfortunate. That was really unfortunate for him. In terms of SPP, lots on the Wood Elf side. A lot of the scoring was done by this piece, so 11 is pretty straightforward. And Altenven was one of the linemen, so I'm surprised he had 5 SPP. I suppose he scored and managed a injury. 2 injuries here, an injury here, and the other War Dancer managed the pass successfully. Gustav got 5 for man of the match, Naeith'nor got 2 for knocking out a piece, and Frankenstein got 5 for scoring and causing an injury. In terms of stats, the ball possession was actually pretty balanced, surprisingly, and the occupation in each's half was also pretty balanced, surprisingly. 1 successful pass, 1 successful catch, 39 blocks to 41 blocks. That's the kind of thing you see on a two bash team game most of the time, so surprising against Wood Elves. 4 KOs inflicted against 1, 4 injuries inflicted against 2. No kills, unfortunately. Still looking for that second pet. And the return. Okay, let's have a look then. That leads us to 3-1-4 after game 8, which is not bad for this team, though 2 of them were concessions. Though as you saw in the highlights, if you saw the highlights, one of the concessions was because the guy got frustrated, not a straight concession. So, we've got Frankenstein looking to level up soon. Monster's still looking for his first level up. He's nearly there. Leica's doing okay. She, I don't know, is 2 points out from an MVP level up. Our guard piece is back and looking to level up again, and we have a level up on Gustav. Let's just roll that. It's a normal. I could take a second dirty player, as I do want to kill pieces, but to be honest, I'm missing block in this team, so... Or I could take wrestle. No, I'll take block, because I do want the pieces to get hurt, so... I do need some block just to stop skulls being such a big issue for me. So, there we go, I have a blocking zombie. Alright. Thanks for watching, that's all for today's game. Hopefully this one was entertaining. I quite enjoyed this one, that's why I chose to play it. And I'll see you in the next one. Thanks guys, bye bye.